Even though many people play and enjoy the features of this dress-up waifu simulator has to offer, we can't help but want a little more from this game. And that's what this video is about. Here are the 10 things I would change about NGS if I could. Now, I'm not part of the NGS dev team, and I have never made a video game, let alone an MMO before. But I understand that a lot of work goes into making video games. With that being said, some things on my list are probably already slated to come out, or may never see the light of day, making this video pointless and subverting all the hard work I put into this. Anyway, enough stalling, Keisha. Let's get this show on the road. First off, a total aggregate stat bonus display in the stat information character menu. It feels like it should already be a thing in the game, but it's not. Although it's not hard to add up the bonuses myself, having that information at a glance would be very beneficial for new and veteran players alike. Imagine actually being able to fuel that dopium addiction with a 290% RDR copium boost. Not that those stats even matter. We all know rare drop rate is a lie and enemies have 3 secret health bars that the devs don't even know about. This next one is very simple, but needs to be stated anyways. As it is now, the PSE Burst gauge has a random chance to go up or down whenever you kill an enemy, and the chance to go up seems higher whenever you kill an enemy near an area with a big E. Whenever you fill the bar, a PSE Burst occurs, which is what everyone farms for in the combat zones. But every so often the bar goes down, to the point where the whole bar goes away, which is so demotivating. I mean, I've heard countless number of players type that in chat like, ugh, the bar went down, ugh, I don't want to do this anymore. And if I wasn't so addicted to the game, I would stop, because it's not fun. I would change the way the gauge functions, making it so the gauge never goes down. I don't think it enhances the player experience, and it surely hinders the player's fun. I'm not mindlessly killing waves and waves of enemies for the challenge. There is something I specifically want, and that's why I'm doing it. PSE, for those who don't know, means photon sensitive effect. We, as Arcs defenders, use photons to do damage to the dolls, so you would think a gauge measuring photon sensitivity would always go up, because we are always using photons until an eventual explosion of photons or burst happens. Then it would return to a normal level, seeing as the overaccumulation of photons would dissipate over time. Maybe I'm thinking too much and going off on a tangent. Which leads me to my next point. Where's all the lore in the game? I think anyone familiar with PSO knows who Dark Falls is and how his whole gimmick works. The main story of NGS, as well as the side stories that were added later to the game, give a brief look at the characters of Halpha, but not the planet itself. Specifically, I would like better flavor text for items. Whenever I look at an item in NGS, it kind of breaks my immersion. I mean, look at these 2 items. The descriptions are helpful, but you see what I mean by immersion breaking, don't you? It tells the player how to use it, yet barely states what the actual item is. Maybe I'm expecting too much, but coming from other games, I've come to expect amazing flavor text. Leaving notes or clues lying about really makes the world feel more alive. Lost Ark does an incredible job of this. They've integrated minor side stories with natural exploration, and they reward you for that exploration with the adventurer tone. And if you want to know what I think about NGS's reward system, watch my other NGS videos on my channel. What I'm trying to get at is, this open world RPG doesn't feel like a world. Honestly, it feels like base PSO areas smashed together. Maybe that's why people think this is some kind of simulation. Actually, I might make a video about my theory of Planet Halpha later. I'm getting sidetracked again. Several class changes would be the next thing to change for me. Most classes feel like they're missing PAs and skills. I know we will get them eventually, but not having them in the game right now pushes people toward a certain meta and makes other classes feel unplayable. Why would I play a harder class when the easier class is safer and deals more damage? Also, it feels like there are only 3 viable subclasses, with the rest being useless. You either go Force if you want more photon points and more natural PP recovery, you go Fighter if you want to deal more damage on a down boss, or you go Hunter for damage reduction. Currently, there is no sale or purchase history in the personal shop, which makes it really hard to tell if an item has been sold unless it appears in the top sellers tab of the personal shop. Just another quality of life update I would put in the game, which would benefit players, both buyers and sellers. This has bothered me since base, but why do we have to be on the same block to receive a party invite or queue for an urgent quest? I'm sure Sega has an answer as to why this is a thing, but I think being able to invite or queue from different blocks would just be better. However, it's not really a priority for me, just a nitpick that I have to deal with on a daily basis. Next, I would definitely implement a try-on option for weapons in fashion when inspecting another player. I hate when I see something cool that someone has, I go to inspect them, find out the name, then run over to the personal shop to look it up, only to find that I can't see it from a partial search. So I have to go back, find that person, remember the exact spelling of the item, so I can find it in the shop. That scenario has happened to me several times, and I hate it every single time. Just add a try-on feature so I can see how my character looks with it. This should already be a thing in a game that like this, which is heavily focused on aesthetics. More quality of life changes. Seems I'm saying that a lot. Now, an item comparison widget would be a great addition into the game, especially for the new PS4 players, so they know what gear is better for them. Having to switch between both items multiple times is not really user-friendly, right? I know NGS gear works differently than most games, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Something simple like having a higher potency on an item would display a green arrow pointing up. I think we've all been conditioned to know that green and up is good, while red and down is bad. Oh, this is a big one. Actual customizable crafted weapons. When I heard that a crafted weapon was coming, I was so excited. Crafting my relic weapon was one of my favorite things to do in Final Fantasy. Sadly, I found out I was expecting way too much. For a crafted weapon, there was hardly anything I could change about it. Why have a crafted weapon when I can't tailor it to my playstyle? It really felt so isolated and incoherent. Just a random weapon series put into the game to placate the players who wanted a craftable weapon. There weren't many systems built around it, and there were no story implications from using a seemingly rare mineral like Blizzardium. However, they could implement something in the future. Fingers crossed. I will put in an option to change the stats that the potential gives you. I would keep the potency the same, but have the other stats changeable. So if you wanted more crit, you would have to sacrifice something else. So the crafted weapon would feel more personal. I hope they don't abandon the Kaiser series, but I'm not holding my breath on that one. And the number one thing I would bring back to NGS is player trading. Currently, the only way to trade items between players is the personal shop. And that's a huge gamble if you just want to give your friend a piece of loot you don't want. I like being able to give my friends gear anytime I want, but of course, there's a reason why players can't trade in NGS, but that's a Sega problem. That's not a player problem. Player trading still exists in the base game. It should be in NGS. Putting another limit on players is fundamentally hurting the game, and it's just annoying. Punishing us for the misdeeds of others isn't the solution, and hasn't fixed the problem either. Thank you so much for getting to this point of the video. You must really care about the game as much as I do, maybe more. I don't know what my next few videos will be about, but probably something NGS is doing wrong, or some general aspect of MMOs that I hate. Subscribe so you can see those videos too. Okay, see ya. P.S. Sorry for taking so long to upload this video. I blame my friend who wanted to play TFT every time I tried to work on it. which took a long time to put together. So I hope you liked it.